intro for this video. So here I am. Right now we're doing the tablescape, and I just wanted to pop in and kind of just share a little bit about the vibe. Of course, you know, everyone's doing a Ralph Lauren Christmas, and so am I. So back here, you would have seen me put up the garland over the bookcases. The Christmas tree here. I ran out of ribbon, so don't mind the burgundy that's missing, but it still looks stunning. And you also saw me put up the garland on the banister, and I think it came out wonderful. So right now we're about to do the tablescape. I got majority of the pieces from Hobby Lobby and Burlington. So the tablescape is also Ralph Lauren inspired. We're going to do a Christmas brunch and a Christmas dinner. So I'm gonna set up for Christmas brunch now. Currently it's Sunday, and it's the last Sunday before Christmas. So I'm gonna get us ready for our Christmas Eve brunch. And we're gonna do a full tablescape, and we're also gonna do a setup for the food. So I've got like some placemats and like runners, and I'm gonna have food on risers and like different levels. So on the day of, I will definitely vlog that. But I'm on theme in my Ralph Lauren Polo Bear t-shirt, and the vibes are just immaculate in here. I have some picture frames to put up that will also kind of create that Christmas ambiance. But so far, I'm loving the vibes in my home. It's very calm, cozy, you know, but also extravagant. And the gifts are under the tree, and I'm just really enjoying myself. So thanks for watching. I know it's a bit last minute, but I hope you enjoy. And to anyone watching, happy holidays to you, and see you in the new year. Bye. So you can kind of see the items before I start decorating the table. Like I said, I got them from Hobby Lobby, Ross, and Burlington. So I'm going to share with you what the tablescape idea is. So we're going to do a classic charger, a placemat, a tablecloth, napkins, napkin ring holders, and I think I may or may not do nutcrackers. I always like to have like a little gift, maybe like a paper crown or like a little gift on the table for Christmas. So I think I might do that, which I need to make those, but we have everything else. So for the napkin ring holders, we're gonna be using these berries, and I got these from Hobby Lobby, and I'm gonna slip this in the napkin ring with the napkin. And then I'm gonna tie everything together with this red velvet ribbon from Hobby Lobby. For the dining plates, I got like, these are 10-inch or 12-inch plates. Yeah, I think maybe 12. And I picked these up from Hobby Lobby. And these are like a ceramic plate. And I thought these were gorgeous. It's not too on the nose, like it doesn't scream Christmas, but like, you know, you get the winter vibes. And green is really the color that we're doing, so I thought this would be a gorgeous plate. The dining cloth I picked up from Burlington. It was $13, and it's this classic plaid that I think will tie both rooms together, even though the living room, it's an open concept, so the living room is a winter white, but the dining room is traditional. I think this has a lot of white in it that will balance both of the spaces. Then the chargers are also from Burlington, and they're like a leather basket weave, almost like the Bottega weave. And I thought this was really nice to add depth, like to add depth in terms of texture. So we picked those up. Those were $7.99. For the napkins, I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking of doing a buffalo check plaid and kind of just slipping them through like this with the berries on top. And then for the placemat, I do have red ones, but I think I want to go with this champagne bronze, just to give it some sparkle and some shimmer, but to make it pop, but also not anything too loud. I think red might be too much for this space. Really, 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 really pretty. So yeah, I hope this plays out the way that I have it in my mind, because if it does, I think it's going to be extremely beautiful, very layered, textured, you know, cute little nuances that play from the living room to the dining room. So sometimes decorating an open concept can be hard because you have both rooms that you're seeing at the same time, or like all three spaces, and you really want them to be cohesive and flow together. So I'm hoping that this turns out the way that, you know, I'm thinking up here. I think it will. Usually it does. So yeah, let's go have some fun and decorate this tablescape. Okay, so for the napkins, the fourth seat is not really actually a seat. It's kind of like the kids' seat, but we're going to be having dinner for 3 on that day. So if you see a little disproportion in the flatware, that's why. So I'm just going to gather the napkin into a triangle, and I'm also going to take the napkin ring holder and pull it through like so. And then I'm gonna slip the goldenberry branch right through the center and just kind of conceal the stem in the napkin. Okay, now for glassware, we're gonna have a water glass and a wine glass. I think I'm gonna do a mix of gray and green, just to give it a bit more like sophistication and like darker color. So I'm gonna be going in with these fluted or ribbed drinking glasses, and this is gonna be our water glass. And like I said, the fourth one is kind of like a kid's, like underage sitting arrangement. So we're going in with 3 of these coupe glasses, and I got these from At Home a few years ago, but they're like this anthracite kind of silver metallic color, and I think it adds depth to the table that brings another color but doesn't create chaos. It's kind of in the same muted neutrals tone, and I'm gonna place that on the opposite end of the arrangement. For me, for the glasses, I like to do either or so that people aren't like confusing their drinks. So typically I like to do to the left of the person on the opposite side of the table. So if you're sitting on the front half of the table, it's to your left. And then if you're on this side of the table, it's to your left. That may not be proper etiquette, but that's what I like to do. I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and use some garland to bring some greenery to the space, or like some liveness, some freshness. I'm thinking if I want to do 1 or 2, and I'm just kind of feeling it out. All set, and here is an overview of what we came up with. I didn't really want to do a huge centerpiece. I thought about getting some hurricanes and like nesting in and doing little small tea light candles, but I think this is extravagant enough just for the brunch. Maybe for the dinner, if we want it to be vibey and low-key, I'll do that. But for Christmas brunch, I think this looks absolutely amazing. And just with the tree in the background. I said I was going to do some ribbon, but I ended up not. I really enjoyed the super neutral kind of vibe that this gives off, and let the red come from the tablecloth. So yeah.